Hello everybody, my name is whimreaper and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Last video I was doing the exterior of this 100 baby challenge dream mansion house IKEA build thing. So if you haven't seen that, you could go check it out, but it isn't necessary at all for you to enjoy this video, which is going to be the furnishing part of the mansion. So like I said, this is all based off of IKEA, so a lot of the types of styles and stuff you're gonna see are very heavily drawing from their rooms that you see when you go to the stores. So this was all come about basically by me going to IKEA for the very first time with my mother-in-law in Edmonton. So I had never been before. I didn't even know that there was an IKEA in Edmonton somehow. Like, I don't even know how I didn't realize that. But when I went there, I was just like in awe at how much stuff there was. And this was some time ago now. I also built this build some time ago. But a lot of the kitchens and a lot of the rooms that I am about to build, I kind of got inspiration from looking at the IKEA website and also just from what I remembered from going to the location. This was probably around Christmas time of 2019, just to give you a little bit of an idea. So some of the trends might not be up to date and they might have some new displays going on, but I am not entirely sure because I haven't been there since. So this is quite limited knowledge. So, but basically what I was getting from the IKEA experience sorry, is the simplicity, I guess, of everything, and just how a lot of like really interesting color palettes and just really happy, bright, easy to use, practical type rooms. So I tried to reflect that in everything I did here. I went for a more industrial style kitchen because that's what stood out to me when I went, was a wood countertop, black tile kind of style. And as for the dining room, I started with this tiny table and I quickly realized how awkward it looks, but I keep with the kind of industrial theme over here, and then I don't extend it through the whole house though. I think that I kind of limit it elsewhere, but I just loved that style for the kitchens that they had when I went. But yeah, like I said, it was like a really overwhelming experience to go for the first time, and I don't even know if it's all that common for IKEAs to be placed. I don't know. Like, I think they're kind of everywhere, but I don't personally know that many people who thought it was weird I'd never been to an IKEA, although I know that that's probably more common now. Maybe I do stick with that dining table. Like I said, it's a while since I built this, and one thing that I really wanted was to keep this build really bright and happy and just vibrant, because that's kind of the idea I was going for when I started this build. But yeah, this is a lot of parenthood, I think, is going to be used because that's very much the style. And kids' room stuff too, actually. I was surprised to see was very IKEA-esque, I suppose. And I actually think I used quite a lot of base game as well. So those are probably the main packs. Laundry Day did come through a few times, but I know that it has a lot of packs in it, but those were probably the main ones, especially Parenthood. Like, I think I probably use every object if I'm gonna be honest with myself, but they're all really good and well suited to this build. I wanted this area, which is going into kind of like the playroom part of the build, to be really um packed with like things you could bring outside, because the playroom opens to the outdoors, and I thought that would be good if you could just like put on your shoes, walk through the playroom and go. This right here is going to be a craft room, which I tried to make this really interesting corkboard idea that I noticed when I was in IKEA, which kind of has like this really built-in concept, like where the bookcase is built in, the corkboard is built in, and then you have like, yeah, like hooks and like crafts hanging places. So it's a really, really lovely, vibrant area. I don't know why it's so dim. I had to turn it to nighttime to make this not look as dim. But I think by the end the lighting is fixed. I guess this is just the shady side of the house, but yeah, it was kind of strange. And the Moschino wallpapers were actually amazing for this build. Like, amazing, amazing. I loved the light floorboard idea too. I think I just kind of put it everywhere because I'm like, that looks like so much like all the floors in all of the displays that I saw when I was there. And I literally went there because I was curious to see what coffee tables they had. Like, what a fool am I? They had so much more than that. So I really did miss out on a lot of things. They had like my favorite chair that I've ever seen, which I should have. I don't know if I had bowling night or not. But if I did, I definitely used it. If not, then I wish that I had it because that was like the bowling night chair, living chair, is so similar to the one that is like my favorite IKEA chair that I saw there. But yeah, I wanted to make this room like usable for like some of the teens crafts, like older kid crafts, but also there were a few kids activity tables. I think this area over here is one of my favorites in the house. A lot of the bedrooms as well, but this I just thought was so colorful and just happy and lovely. So what I did, yeah, I put two laptops down so kids can use those whenever they need them, and then made it into a study area where they can do their homework. So I have these giant shelves to continue the bookcases along, and I think it just looks so good. And I don't even know, like, how did I think of this? So like, it just kind of came to me, and I'm really happy with it. We also have some like media tools. I don't know exactly what it's called. I haven't used that what is it called, music making station at all, but I put it there so that we can have some more skill building objects, and I really do cram a ton of skill building objects into this house. I wanted it to be just like packed with anything and everything that we could possibly think of that would basically just like give us stuff for the kids to do. And I'm struggling for words, you guys. Sorry about that. And like, yeah, we have a ton of bedrooms. I put the beds in each room that I thought would be like the age range. So this is one of the toddler rooms. I love it. It has a foresty kind of theme, as you can see by the wallpaper and the bears. And I kind of do like bear type decorations everywhere. It's definitely got a Canadian Rockies type vibe, which I mean, as a Canadian, how could I resist throwing that in, you know? And I just thought it was so cute for a little toddler room, especially with like that little inspirational poster. This room is like almost Brave inspired, but of course, it would be for toddlers, which I suppose you could argue the triplets from Brave are toddlers. I don't know if they would be toddlers or children, but either way, this room definitely reminded me of that while I was building it, and that is one of my favorite Disney movies and one of my definitely my favorite Pixar movie, I think. But of course, it's Disney Pixar now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. It's not important, but yeah, this room does end up being way more empty than I intended it to be, but I think it's still super cute with like the themed decorations. I really wish that those what are they called? I don't remember what they're called, but like those candelabras that they use for Hanukkah, I wish that those would be all lit up. Like I know why they're not, but I that would be really cool because I would use them as non-Hanukkah decorations as well. So yeah, that would just be epic. And yeah, of course, I have like the cloud light to be that theme. And then we're working on another bedroom, I think, here. I don't remember this one so much. It might be a bathroom, actually. Oh no, this is the second floor. This is the gym. Okay. Sorry, I just got lost for a second there because of the cut. But yeah, we are putting in a gym. I wanted there to be a lot of fitness objects, of course. So we have a training dummy, a weightlifting machine, and a treadmill, of course. And right behind this room, there is an area that I don't put anything in. And that's simply because I just didn't see the need for it. And that's actually really good though, because then if there's something I forgot to include or a new pack that I get or something, then I can actually just open up that area with a door or an archway or something, and we don't even have to extend the house to get some more space. And that's the same with, there's kind of like a semi tower looking area on the build, and that's the same way. It's empty, but we could easily expand to include it. And this room is like a goth teenager's room, because I was kind of thinking, like, yeah, IKEA's all bright and happy, but we need to have at least one moody room, because there's gonna be that one teen that's just too cool to have an IKEA room, where it's like, the furniture definitely looks like it could come from IKEA, but I wanted it to have like a Halloween-y type feel. I really like it for that reason. I did also put it on the third floor, however, because then when you're looking on the main floor, or not the third floor, it's the second floor, because when you're looking in the main floor, then you won't be confronted by this really dark looking room, and also it's kind of away from everyone else, and that is very characteristic for a moody teenager, so I was happy with putting this here. There are some dormers that aren't accessible off of this room. I could make them accessible, but they're just so long and skinny, I don't know what you'd put in them. So those are blocked off as well. By the way, if you wanted to use this house or like renovate it for something or other, it's on the gallery. It's called 100 Baby Dream House, I believe. And it's under my username, which is whimreaper as well. It's just exactly the same as my channel name. So you can use that if you want. There's no custom content in this whatsoever. I don't have any build by custom content besides some pictures, which I think I never use besides when I play in my own save files. So it should be perfectly just like grab and go kind of thing if you want a 100 baby challenge house to use for yourself. It is expensive because it is my end goal house. So if you weren't in the last video, I explained that it is like really, really not budget conscious, and that's because this is my, like, what would I build if I didn't have to worry about money? 100 baby challenge house, not what will I build because I have to worry about money. So basically, I think it's like 260,000 simoleons, which sounds insane, but the more I play the challenge, the more I realize how doable it is. So I think that this won't be too far of a stretch once you get into the later stages of the challenge, in order to get this lovely house. I don't even remember what this room is. I think this might be the lounge room area, which I honestly don't remember putting in this house. This might be a bedroom as well, though. Oh, this is the master bedroom. I remember because I split it up later. That's why I can't recognize it. So yeah, I split this so that there's kind of a nursery off of it. And the first time I did this, I was like, oh, I'm a genius, because then the babies won't wake up the matriarch, but you can still see into there. But I totally did this on my mini mansion as well. So this was the first time I thought of the idea, but it's featured in my other build, and it's just got like this kind of cute baby memento kind of thing going on with some toys in there. I mean, the kids are definitely going to grab those eventually, but I just thought I would stage it nicely to put on the gallery. And we have some cute little baby pictures and a rug and all of that loveliness. And I actually really do love this room. I think I do shrink it down a tiny bit though, because I just thought, well, why not have more room in the main part of the bedroom? But yeah, I got in a really, really lovely bed from Vintage Glamour. I love that bed so much. It's so simple and just lovely. I wish there were more colors though. Maybe a little more toned down options would be nice, but regardless, it's amazing. And then this little area with for like doing makeup, I thought it was just so brilliant. Like this whole time I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm a genius. A lot of this, however, was based on photos from IKEA website and from Pinterest of like people who had taken IKEA furniture and done stuff like this with it. So I can't take all the credit, but I do love this concept of having this shelf. Like obviously that chair isn't usable now, but just like the look of having this little makeup area. The mirror will be usable, so that's fine. And just yeah, just how luxurious that would be. This entire house was kind of the concept of like, oh yeah, you don't have any budget. But the ironic part is that IKEA is literally meant to be budget furniture, which I kind of ignored, but it is funny when you think about it. So it's just hilarious. But I don't know. You could still achieve a very luxurious look even with some of the cheaper objects in the game, which is kind of an interesting thing to explore because there is so much in this house. So much in this house, but it isn't even as expensive as some of my other builds in my World Overhaul save file because those were using like gold crusted whatever, like really ostentatious beds and stuff like this. But this house still comes across as being like super duper rich person, but just a more family oriented version of that, which I love. This room is probably one of my favorites. I don't know. I love all the kids' rooms, but this one is just like really cats and dogs focused. It's got these really childish beds, and I don't. This one comes across as a little less IKEA, almost more middle class than the other rooms, but I just don't know. It just reminds me of my own childhood, and I love it. I don't know, it kind of comes across as like a 2000s style room. I might be wrong there, but let me know what you think. Like, of course, there's not enough beige in it. If it were to be 2000s, the carpet would be, yeah, definitely more beige and probably a few more wall decals and stuff like that. But yeah, the decals themselves, like, I just thought were so 2000s. I remember when I was a kid, I had this Minnie Mouse giant decal that was meant to go on a wall, basically. And what I did with it is I stuck it on the back of my bookcase because I had used my bookcase as a partition in my room, which I don't even know how I had room in my bedroom for a partition, considering how small it was. But that's what I decided I was gonna do. So to me, that just like, that's so 2000s because I was born in 1998. So I lived through the entirety of the 2000s as a child, and that's just what it reminds me of. Now this outdoor pool area, I have like those loungers. I didn't have island living at the time, so that's why they're those ones, but I don't know. I don't think I'll change it anyway. That outdoor area just has a bar there. I don't even know if I want that though, because Sims just make drinks way too often. But we have options. Like I said, we can always put it in like the household inventory and then swap it out or whatever. But yeah, this is one of the teen rooms. It's very blue themed. I really like it. It's got a chess table in here, I believe, and some closets. And I think this one is very, very IKEA looking. It kind of reminds me of an IKEA office style, which is interesting. We don't have a strict office in this build, we just have that study area, which I like. But I think that I overlooked like Peggy is a programmer, and we might need a computer that just the matriarch can access, which we could put in her bedroom like very easily, but I didn't think about it. So we should almost put a little mini office in the matriarch's room, which would be something that would be very easily doable. Or like I said, we have a lot of extra space, so we could put another like locked room that only the matriarch can ever get into, where she can have her little woohoo sanctuary and or office, which would probably be the best. So we could just unlock it for our guests whenever they come over. So yeah, that sounds super weird, but but that's probably actually a really good feature to add onto the house. This room is definitely my favorite room of all. Like I said, I like all of them, but this one is my number one, I would say. It has like a really just like a teen girl vibe, but like almost like a tween vibe, but it's just so bright and airy, and it's just communal in a way. Like, it's also really bougie because they have double beds. I never had a double bed until I got married, so to me that's like whoa, a child has a double bed, you are spoiled. But that's of course what we're going for in this build, because this will be the point where everyone is super rich. So we have this lovely storage area, and I love putting all the storage together. I was saying in one of my other videos how having a realistic storage system would just be really cool in The Sims. And I think like the more and more that I play storage and kind of am sad that it doesn't actually do anything, the more I would love it, you know? It's just epic to have usable stuff, like there's more realism. But at the same time, I can see why some people might not want that. But yeah, I put in this really like pink and like creams and blues, and of course a vanity, because what's more teen girl than a vanity to do your makeup at and just feel like a princess? And I don't know. This room is just like, if I had had this room as a teen, I would have felt like that, like I don't know how to explain it. Like I would have felt like that girl at school who everyone just loves, you know? That's just the vibes that room throws to me, and I love it. It is one of my favorite things. Oh yeah, and I was just checking if I'd put a guitar anywhere, I think, to see if it was necessary to put one in here, which of course it was. Of course you could put a guitar in here. And yeah, I just put some plants everywhere. It just looks super homey and beautiful, and yeah, like I said, it's just like got that really sweet, sweet feel to it, and I'm here for it. I'm living. I wish I could live in that room, to be honest. Like it's one bed too many because I'm married, but otherwise, I think it's amazing. This room here is a kid's room, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, but I think it ends up being the basis for a lot of my more current builds. So I was really experimenting in here, and I really like how it turns out with like, it just looks really really cozy, but also has a lot of elements to it. I don't know how to explain this room, but yeah, it definitely does have an IKEA feel with like a bunch of storage and a bunch of like really like cute toys. Oh yeah, and like one of the things at IKEA that I loved the most was their adorable stuffed animals. Like they had that line of toys, I think, that kids designed, and they're just so cute. So that was probably what prompted me to put so many like stuffed animals and stuffed monsters and stuff in this room, were those really quirky stuffed animals that were based off of like children's drawings that I saw while I was there. I mean, like, I'm a 21-year-old woman, and I wanted to buy those for myself. Like, I don't even care. They're just so cute and really affordable. Like, I just like don't get the rap that IKEA gets after going there for the first time, because a lot of people like make fun of it. They're like, "Oh, IKEA, like you have to put it together yourself." It's like it is worth it to put it together yourself. They have some really nice timeless furniture, and like a lot of it is kind of a little bit cheap looking, but there are parts of the stuff that's honestly, it looks just really nice, and it looks really high end, even if it's a little bit more affordable. Like I know people who have no shortage of money who shop at IKEA just because of the designs, that they just prefer them to some of the more bougie alternatives, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying half the time, guys. You gotta save me from myself. But uh, of course, this is a like 40-minute long video to do a commentary on, and I can't speak today, but that is all right with me. I can talk for hours and hours if you'd like me to, honey. So, yeah, we're doing another toddler room. I wanted to have enough room for 4 toddlers. This is definitely my preferred toddler room, I think. I think I said I liked the bear one earlier, didn't I? You can rewind that and call me out if you want, but this one is just so, so cute with the colors. I wanted it to be so, so girly. I'm like, you know what? Most of the rooms are like gender neutral or like a little bit on the boyish side. This one is going to be full on Princess and the Pauper with like pinks and purples. By the way, if you guys watched the Barbie Princess and the Pauper movie when you were a kid, Like honestly, you're my fam because that was my favorite movie as a kid, and I think I can still probably sing most of the songs by heart. It's just it was an absolute jam of a time. Like I love the Barbie movies as a kid, and I just like I'm so sad that they're not as good as they used to be because I've just seen like a few scenes of the newer ones just because I'm curious to see how similar they would be to when I was a kid, and they're so different and it's so sad. But if you saw Barbie Princess and the Pauper, or if that was one of your favorite films, like girl or boy, I don't care, you are like you just will get me, I think. I think that when I was a kid, I was like 3 hours away one time from trying to record one of the scenes with my cousin because we wanted to like imitate the movie but in real life, and we don't look anything alike, but when we were kids we were like we kid ourselves into thinking we looked like twins, and we could pull off that whole like Annalise and Erica look exactly the same except their hair color kind of thing. The problem is my cousin is probably like way 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 more fit than me. I don't know how much more muscle mass she has, but a lot more. And she's tan, and her facial structure is entirely different because her dad has a different ethnicity than my dad does. And we're related on our mom's sides. So yeah, I don't know who we were kidding, but we were really into that movie. It's basically the moral of the story, and that room definitely has that purple pink kind of Barbie princessy vibe to it, which I love. This room, I don't even remember making, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but yeah, like I said, like I keep saying, like, oh, it looks like it's from IKEA. Like, duh, that's kind of the point. But like I just wanted to have a lot of variety for bedrooms because I like to have the kids stay in rooms that I think they would appreciate, you know? Like, I think if you limit, like, the types of surroundings too much, then you'll end up having a kid where you're like, oh, their personality is very very like pretentious, and they're really into, I don't know, like the chess club, and they're also a cheerleader. Like there are only so many rooms that kind of personality would be able to tolerate, and the Barbie Princess and the Pauper is not one of them. So, like, I kind of like having a variety, if that makes any sense. That was such a specific example, but like, I don't know. I love making characters, which is why I'm thinking that my next video I want to do, besides an episode of the 100 Baby Challenge, is going to be an update where I make a bit of a character, but then I also can get in everything I've been wanting to say to you guys in a video where it'll just be really obvious. That's my intention, is it's a channel update. So I think I might end up recording that tomorrow, but it's gonna be a create a sim, I think like a black and white create a sim video, like create a sim challenge video. I've never tried any of those challenges before because my last computer didn't have the ability to change the video settings for some reason. So yeah, I could never have done it before, but I'm thinking of doing it very shortly, and you'll have that to look forward to if you're into create a sim challenges. But yeah, I would like to make a story with that one too, and then just update you guys on what's going on. You could check out the first part of this video, kind of briefly talks about it as well, if you're just like really curious and you want to know like right now, although I doubt it. But yeah, there's just a few more little places left in this build to furnish. It feels like it was gigantic. It was a huge project. It took me probably like 2 weeks to finish this just because I had to take such long breaks from it because of how much there was to do. But the last room is this playroom, and this was definitely my least favorite room of the house, I'm sad to say. But it does still have a very playful kind of atmosphere to it. It's not what I wanted though. It's a little bit too, I don't know how to say it. It's just like it's not full enough, but it's also too crowded. I don't know. It just like it looks wrong. So this is something that we might end up fixing when we move into this build eventually in the challenge, which actually probably won't be too long. But basically, I just kind of fill it up the best that I can with activities. So that's the important part. Is it's got like this little toddler playpen area. It's got all the main things I wanted it to have. It's just not got style. So that's something we might change. I put the toilet on the carpet, which I'm gonna have to change that too. I'm just seeing things in this room and nitpicking, but that's pretty much the end of this video. I will put some screenshots at the end so you can get a really good look at each of the rooms. And yeah, like I said, you can download it on the gallery. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what kinds of videos you'd like me to see or like to see more of. Build videos, create a sim. Like I said, I love doing pretty much all of it. So yeah, with that, here are the screenshots, and I hope to see you another time. Goodbye!